Hey everybody, this is Jen. Welcome to the homestead and welcome to my channel. Today we are going out into the old garden and harvesting some seeds that are ready to be harvested. Most of them are flowers and some perennial herbs because that's what's growing out there this year. But I figured I'd take you along and show you how I harvest some of those seeds. So follow me along right here on Garden Jen's Journey. Alright, so today is a beautiful day to get outside and get some work in the gardens done. And one of the most important works you can do in the garden this time of year is start saving your seeds. Especially if you're growing heirloom varieties, you want to start saving your seeds so you have them to plant next year. And also if you have an abundance of seeds, you can share them with other people who might enjoy what you're actually growing in your garden. So let's head on out to the garden and I'll show you some of the seeds that I am going to be harvesting today. Alright, so one of the seeds I'm going to be harvesting today is from this beautiful cosmos. This is Bright Light Cosmos. It's a really pretty flower. The bees love it. There's a bumblebee right here. Just enjoying this flower. But it's beautiful. It's got orange and of course the yellow. And sometimes it puts out almost a white kind of yellow. It's a really pretty plant. And again, the bumblebees love it. And some of the other pollinators do, of course, as well. But I have my bag here of seed saving bags that I use. And these are simply organza bags. And I will put a link in the description box below where I get them from. Because I buy them in bulk. You buy them in bulk, you can save a lot of money. Instead of buying them like at a gift shop or something like that, which you can get these there. They use these for like baby showers and things like that. And I have put tags on them, and I simply cut up pieces of like cardstock and use my label maker to make tags that I attach to these bags. That way, as the seeds are drying and curing, I know what's actually in here. Especially if you have multiple seeds of different varieties. Like I have this Bright Lights Cosmos here, but I also have a Seashell Cosmos, another part of the property. So I want to make sure I know which seeds I am saving. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cut off the seed heads that are fully cured of this Cosmos and put them in our little bag here. Alright, so I've try to bring you up close here, see if the camera will focus. So this is the seed head here to the Bright Lights Cosmos. And you can see the little seeds, they're very long seeds in this flower here. So we're just going to take them and put them in our bag. You gotta be careful with these and not mess with them too much, because when they're fully cured, they actually start falling out of your seed pod and then you'll lose them. So we just go ahead and put them right in there. And then I can break them up in here and get the debris out. And they're safe in this bag. And then when you drop them on the ground like I do at times, they're still safely in the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple more of these seed pods off. Okay, so this one has quite a few seed pods on it as well. It's kind of hard to see it because the borage has grown up and around it. But I can find them and I can put them in my little baggie. And then we're actually going to harvest some of the seed pods from this borage as well. Alright, so that's quite a few seeds for right now. I'll probably wait about another few days to a week, and some more of these seed pods will have ripened enough where I can harvest them. But for now, we got quite a few in here. And then I want to show you how I do my borage. Alright, so we're going to collect the seeds from the borage, but actually I'm going to let them collect their own seeds. This is one of the things you can do with flowers that have lots of seed pods on them, and you know that the flowers have died back and the seed pods are forming, but they're not ready yet. And this comes in real handy when you have a lot of seeds to collect from a single flower. This works very well for plants that have tiny seed pods, and I'll show you some of those in a little bit. But I'm going to show you how I work with this borage. And one of the things you will notice is there's lots of bees around in my garden because I have lots of flowers and things that they like. But I'm not afraid of these bees. They're generally not going to bother me unless I harass them. You saw in the cosmos I was actually touching the flower that the bumblebee was on, and I have actually petted some bumblebees. They're a very docile insect. But generally, your bees are not going to bother you unless you harass them. So if you're not allergic to bees, don't worry about working around them in your garden. As long as you take it slow, don't harass them, and let them do their job, they're going to do their job. They don't have time or the energy to waste on bothering you because they have to collect food sources for them and their colony to survive the winter. So I just want to put that plug in there that bees are your friend, not your enemy, and as long as you treat them as your friend and not your enemy, you'll be fine. Wasps and hornets, on the other hand, depending on what you're dealing with, that's a whole nother battle there. But we're talking about bees. Okay, so I have this clump here of seed pods that the flowers have already opened, the bees did their thing, and now they're just developing the seed heads in this. Borage self-seeds very well. So if you're not worried about where it grows and your ground's kind of uncovered, this will just do its thing and it'll come back year after year. That's why I have a huge healthy forest here this year, because my mulch has really broken down and left a lot of bare dirt. But if you want to save seeds and like plant borage in a different spot or give it to your friends, I highly recommend this method. So I'm just going to take my organza bag and I'm just going to slide it around the flower head here and secure it. And then as the seeds dry out and stuff, all I have to do is break the stalk off later and the seeds will be in here and they won't have fallen on the ground or anything. So very easy to do. Again, you do this on flower heads where the flowers have mostly died off. You don't want to do it on flowers that are still open because the pollinators are still doing their job. Alright, so there is one done. I'll bring it in so you can kind of see it a little better. So here is one seed head bagged, and then I'll do another one here one-handed up close so you can kind of see what I'm doing. You see all the bees working around here. Again, because I'm not harassing them, they're not going to bother me. They're busy doing their thing. So, excuse me, Mr. Bumblebee. Thank you. Alright, so this flower head is mostly done. There's only a couple blooms on this one, but we're going to leave it alone. See, this flower head's done. This one's done. You see how heavy these are. These are how you know that there's no more flowers. These are turned under because they're so heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bag on these. Just like so. Alright. And then, because I get such big bags, I can actually fit quite a few of the stalks in here. So I'm going to tuck some more stalks in here, so give me just a minute. Alright, there we go. So I have tucked a couple more stalks in here. And this plant, as well as some of the other plants, when they're still green, they're very flexible. So you can kind of cram and bend some stalks to get them in your seed bag, and they'll be fine. So there's the borage. Okay, so right here is one of the other plants that I want to save seeds from. But this one you'll have to be very careful with. This is nettle, or stinging nettle. and it does earn its reputation. I grew this from seed this year, and I've been harvesting it about once every 2 or 3 weeks once it started really getting established. It grows very well once it gets established. But it is time to save seeds. That way I can share them with other people. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And also, the seeds I'm not saving, I'm going to cut the plant down so it doesn't start spreading in the rest of my garden. That's one of the things you want to do if you're growing nettle and you don't plan on saving the seeds, is you want to cut the plant down before the seeds mature and drop all over the ground. So it's a wonderful plant to have, but you do have to maintain it. So what I'm simply going to do is basically do what I did with the borage, because the seeds, let's see if I can grab this. I don't know if you can see the seeds in it. I'll try to bring you in a little bit later. But these are very, very tiny seeds, and there's a ton of seeds on just this one stem here. So we're going to slide our baggie over top of the seeds, and that way this will catch all those seeds. And then I'll cut the rest of the plant down so those seeds don't drop all over the ground. Now the best thing to do with this, if you don't know how to handle nettle or you just want to be cautious, is to wear gloves, because again, this is stinging nettle and it is very uncomfortable if you brush up against the hairs of this plant. Now I'm wearing, these are glove kind of arm protection things. I got these from Farmer's Defense and they work pretty good. They're supposed to go all the way up your arm, but because I'm kind of heavy set and my arms are a little bigger than some, these only go up to here without falling down. But these work very, very well. They're very good quality. So again, these are from Farmer's Defense, and I don't remember what this is called. This is like the tropical print. It's really, really pretty. But this works very well. But you can also use regular garden gloves and things like that. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to bag up our seed head here. There's one of the seed heads bagged. So I did brush up against some of the younger stems right here, and my fingers are a little on fire, but they'll be all right. But I'm going to go ahead and bag probably this one and perhaps this one, because the seeds are fully formed on both these stalks, and maybe this one. And then the rest of them I'm going to cut down, and I'm actually going to dehydrate them, because this is a wonderful medicinal herb. Alright, again I'm bringing you in close so you can kind of see what I did here. You see move the leaves here. See all those seeds here? And so that's what I bagged in here. I have some beautiful blue daisies here. And I harvest blue daisies the same way I harvest the cosmos, is I wait for these seed heads here to start drying out a little bit more, and then I will cut them off. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry or I know I won't be out here in a while, once the flowers have fallen off and the seed pods start forming, I just group them together like so, and I slide the bag right around them just like I did the borage and things, and then I don't have to worry about them because it's all contained in the little baggie. I will do the same with the lemongrass here. You see the beautiful seeds that are starting to form on this lemongrass. I'll simply slide a bag over top of it and wait for them to fully mature. Alright, so we are next to my sunflowers. These are sunflowers that just grew here this year. I did not actually plant them, and I will actually have these seeds available in my seed shop. These are the Garden Gens Surprise Sunflower, because they were a surprise, but they are absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to be able to share these with you. I will insert a picture of what these bad boys look like in their prime right now. Alright, so aren't they beautiful? They don't look very beautiful now if you love your flowers, but if you are an appreciator of wildlife and the food they need, this still looks beautiful because the seed heads are forming, and birds have actually already started taking advantage of these seed heads. There's quite a few that are missing quite a few seeds. So if I want to be able to save some seeds from this bad boy, I gotta start doing it now before the birds eat them all. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you want to look for is you want to look for seed heads that have basically no petals at all, and they have kind of drooped over, because as the seeds start forming, this thing actually gets very, very heavy. You can't tell right now because of the way that I've done this, but my sunflowers are actually tied up and pulled back against the fence way back there. So they're actually secured because these are getting really, really heavy, and so the whole plant just started falling over. So I staked this up, I supported it by attaching it to the fence in the back, so this could continue to grow and mature, and you know, it's just a wonderful way to be able to support this plant when it gets kind of heavy. So I'm gonna cut off one of these seed heads and kind of show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is one of the smaller seed heads here, but you can see how there's absolutely like no flower petals on it at all. And this part here, these are actually hundreds of flowers in a sunflower, if you did not know that. A sunflower is not simply that flower, but all these in here are flowers. It's kind of cool. And once the seeds start developing and actually start maturing, one of the easiest ways to know that is you can brush this off. And if they don't come off very easy, that's because some of them aren't quite mature yet. They're all pollinated. It's just some of them aren't mature where they let go of their flower thing there. Alright. So that's what your sunflower starts looking like now that all the little flower heads are removed. And some of them were still maturing. That's why the birds haven't eaten them yet, because they weren't ready. Birds know when these are ready, trust me. So you see right here, this is completely empty because these ones were ready, so the birds ate them. So one of the things that people do, depending on where you are with sunflowers, when they start harvesting them, is they take the head and they'll hang them upside down like in their barn or in their garage or something and wait for them to dry out that way, which works great if you don't live in a humid area and where you're storing them at gets very good air circulation. Unfortunately, here in central Michigan, we deal with a lot of humidity. You know, we're the Great Lakes state. We're surrounded by a bunch of water, so of course our climate's very humid. So I have to do something different with these guys, otherwise they just mold. And I cannot tell you how many flowers I've lost due to the mold. And I can't even feed them to the chickens because the mold is just that bad. You don't want to feed something like that to your animals. So I'm going to show you what I do on a bigger flower head. These I'm going to actually give to my chickens in a little bit. But let me get one of these bigger giant flower heads here. Alright, so here's another flower head that has gone to seed. Again, I'll just brush those little flower heads off. Alright, so that's kind of what it looks like. The ones in the middle were definitely not mature, that's why they won't release their flower heads here. But I'll show you how I store my sunflowers so they don't rot. So this head is huge. There's a lot of flesh in here. This is really spongy on the inside. It holds a lot of moisture, which is why these bad boys rot. So I rip off the stem here. So I ripped off the stem. And then I actually break this apart. Now, can you see the thickness of that spongy layer here? Yeah, that's what molds really quickly, and these guys don't get to dry out. So I break this apart into a couple different sections. and I store them on a seed flat tray. Now this is a webbed flat because it's the web design, but if you have a seed tray that has the drainage holes in them too, I have some of those but I don't have it right now, it works very well. But this allows adequate airflow for this to dry out. So I'm gonna go harvest another head because I got a couple more. All right, there we go. Do you see that beautiful purple color in there? Aren't those beautiful? All right, so again, we're gonna rip off the stem here, break it all off there. Okay, and we're gonna break this part. Like so. Like so. And I did get some in my hand. And then again, I'm just gonna store them here in my bin, and I just set these up somewhere where it gets good air circulation, and check on them every couple days, move them around, make sure that they're drying out. Sometimes instead of putting this directly on a shelf, I will set it up on something so air can get all the way around this, because again, we deal with high humidity, so the more airflow we can get around these bad boys, the better it is, and the most likely we'll have actually seeds from these guys. Alright, so just giving you an up close and personal look to this beautiful sunflower. There's actually two of them right here, two stalks of sunflowers. You see the bees up there working on them? Yeah, you can see how big some of these heads are. This is the one that I'm really impressed with right here. That's like the biggest one on this plant. Now I'll show you what I've done here. You see the rope here on this one. There's another one on this one. And then goes all the way here, and it's tied back there to that fence to again hold it up, because these guys get really, really heavy as the seed heads develop. Alright folks, so that's all there is to the seed saving that I've done in the garden today, the different flowers and some of the herbs that I've done. And I do have a seed saving playlist, and I'll make sure to link it below and put it in an iCard up above. I'm trying to make sure that I show how to save seeds for just about anything that you're going to be growing in your garden year after year. So if you're looking for something in particular, make sure to check out the playlist. If I don't have a particular crop on the playlist, make sure that you comment below, and if I grow that crop, I will make sure to do a video so you guys know how to save seeds, because again, that's a very important skill to have. You want to be able to save your seeds year after year, especially with the increased seed shortages, especially for food items. Very important to know how to save your own seeds. So I thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me today as I save some of these seeds here on the homestead. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might be trying to figure out how to save their own seeds. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below. Love to have you along on this journey through homesteading life here in Central Michigan. And as always, I hope wherever you are, you're wonderfully blessed. So until next time, everybody, bye-bye.